Time to move? Skip the hassles of selling during the holiday season and sell your home directly to Opendoor. Request an all-cash offer in minutes, close, and get paid in days. You can even pick your close date so you can move after New Year's. Start your move at opendoor.com or download the Opendoor app. Opendoor is represented by Opendoor Brokerage Inc., license 02061130 in California, and Opendoor Brokerage LLC in its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
Ampire. Hey babies, hey babies, hey babies, hey babies, hey babies, hey babies. Hi everyone, hi everyone, hi everyone, hi everyone, hi everyone. What's up, everybody?
We need to count the hey babies. That was like a record. That was like Rich Shabotkin style. However many hey babies are to start the show means it's a good one.
I should have turned into Rich Shabotkin last night. Commanders win, Commanders win, Commanders win, Commanders win.
That's right. That's right.
That was crazy. Crazy, guys. Crazy. Thank you for all the nice comments out there. Let's see. I got someone told me they played the call on CNN this morning.
Oh, wow.
I was like, CNN off of the MSG rally. They found time for that. Wow, guys. Thanks. It's like, wow, you found time in the rundown for that? Wow. Thank you, producers over there. I heard it was on MSNBC. I heard it was on NBC last night.
Yeah.
I heard Maria Taylor said it was Andrew Siciliano who called it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard that
too.
That's too bad. Andrew had an emotional day, by the way. I don't know if you know about Jim Donovan passed away. Andrew got the Browns job. He's Jim Donovan, beloved voice of the Browns, got cancer, had been fighting it, stepped away from the booth and passed away. So anyway, so I'm all right with they mistook Andrew, but like, let me see if I got this right. The CNN producers knew who called the game, but the Sunday Night Football producers didn't. Just pointing that out. Pointing it out, guys. It was me. Yeah, I mean, it was hard. I mean, it is hard to decipher who called it. We're just screaming.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, all three of you, by the way, which has made it amazing.
Let's start with this. What are we calling this? Hail Maryland.
Oh, I like that. I like that one.
Hail Maryland. Hail Victory, which I know the Post went with today, which I think was that's pretty perfect. I liked Haley that. That's pretty good.
I like the team slogan this year is Raise Hail. So I like Raise Hail Mary. I like
Raise Hail Mary. All right.
Yeah. Kind
of into Hail Maryland. I thought that was pretty cool. Not bad. So it's so God. Well, I don't even know where to begin. Okay.
Okay.
Where do I begin? Do you want to just talk about the play, or do you want to talk about all the things that led up to? I'm actually not surprised they completed one of these things. Where do you want to? I'll let you choose your own adventure. Since you're the injured person here, you get to choose your own adventure.
I'm very injured today. Let's go with the latter. The fact that right away, I'm like, this is that season. Like this is the magic is magicking at this point. Now.
Everybody. Do you think I'm just BSing everybody? I'm telling you, I knew this like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, oh, we're in the middle of something here. Like we're totally in the middle of something here. And it's hard to wrap your arms around it, but like, just listen how this team talks. They are a cult. You could just hear it. They have a belief in one another. There's a belief in the locker room that's hard to describe, even after yesterday, which was jubilant, and should be, because that was wild. And like the looks on everybody's faces was wild. I'll tell you in a bit, but even they were like, but we didn't perform well in the red zone, but we didn't do this, but we didn't do that. So Tell the Truth Monday is going to come down to them going, it should have never come down to that. And they're all going to fall in line and believe it, right? They're all going to fall in line and believe it, which is the really good news. Like, I don't expect this to be a one-off. Like we get the tests. How would they handle the first crazy moment? Cincinnati, I don't know, just flew out to Arizona and killed the Cardinals. How are they going to handle losing to the Ravens? They were very disappointed about it. I don't know. They turn around and kill Carolina, like blow them out with their backup quarterback the whole time. And then this week was a test in itself. I think I said this on Friday to you. I go, this is going to be a low-scoring game. I know it. I can feel it. This is going to be one of the first times that we're going to find out How do they handle one of these? Like, what's it going to be like when it gets tight in the fourth quarter? What happens? What if they need to get some big stop? Can they get it? And they answered that question, albeit in a unique fashion that probably will never happen again. So that was pretty wild. The other thing I want to point out, and this is a lot of the players talked about this. Oh, we practiced this, and you always hear those talking points. Like, we've talked about these things in these scenarios. No one practices the quarterback scrambling for 12 seconds and then buying time and throwing it up. However, what happened at the goal line was practiced. Okay. And I'll tell you why. I've seen them do it. Okay. Like, this goes like all these days when we go out to practice and we watch them and they give us whatever amount of time we get to see. There's one particular day that stands out to me now in light of all of this. And it was, I don't remember if it was at the end of camp. I think it was, or it was at, I don't know, like maybe the beginning of the season, but it was right towards the end of camp or something like that. And it was like a run in the mill Friday, and they got music blaring at practice, and Dan Quinn had a microphone and was on the field. And all they were doing were these scenarios. That's all they were doing. He would yell out on the microphone, "We got 20 seconds left. We have 2 timeouts. The ball's at the 35. Go." And then you'd see Kingsbury call the plays. You see Joe Witt calling the defenses and all that stuff. And then they do that one, and then they'd go, "All right, next group. There's 48 seconds on the clock. We have no timeouts. The ball's at the 23-yard line. Go." And they did this for like an hour. And so, like, when they say, "Hey, we practice these things," like, I literally saw them do these things. And it, like, yesterday after it happened, I like hit me. I'm like, wow. Like, when they say that they prepared for this, they literally mean it. And all of these details that are occurring, like, I heard Zach Ertz say, "Yeah, we were supposed to go down and form this diamond, and my goal is to try to catch it or tip the ball up in the air, and there's going to be one person in front of us and one behind us, and go look at the play." That's what happened. Like, even in this moment where he's running around, he's buying time, but they set up the play, it's like they got what they deserved. Like, they weren't winging it. Granted, like, it's a low percentage, but good things happen to good teams. Magic things happen to special players, and it's all kind of in the cauldron right now. And I think we're all now, I think if you haven't bought in that something really special is going on here, then you don't like this sport. Like, that's all it is, because it's undeniable now. It is.
Yeah, we are not at the like we've already obviously passed the, like, you need to believe in this, trend, like you and I talked about, I think after the Bengals game and the Cardinals game, right? Like, now we're in, like, not only should you be on the bandwagon, you need to, like, start making signs and posters, because this is getting to another level where it's just, as I said, it's one of those seasons. And the season that I keep always, kicking back to in my lifetime where it felt like this, where the chemistry was really good and you felt like there was something special, was that 2005 season with Gibbs 2.0, where that was just a team that banded together. And you look at the home record now, they're 4-0 for the first time since that season. They're 6-2 for the first time since 2008. Like, this is, like I said, the magic is magicking is pretty much what I'm feeling at this point.
It's really wild. I felt it very early, but I'm very close to it. And I know everybody, like, hears me and they're like, "Oh, he just thinks that." And I'm like, I don't know, man. This one's different. This quarterback's different. He is special. He is a really special player. If you didn't know he had a rib injury, you wouldn't have known it yesterday. The way he played, it didn't affect his speed whatsoever. It didn't affect his decision-making whatsoever. And at the end of the game, he has to heave a ball 60-some yards in the air, and he's capable of doing it and throwing it at the spot it's supposed to land. I mean, like, it just, and that might be luck. And then there's part of me that goes, it isn't. Like, it just isn't. Like, we are very fortunate. I think the Bears are going to have a very special player too, as we talked about last week, and I can get into Caleb a little bit. It's just not there yet for him. And I think it manifested again. They just don't have a downfield passing game. And the receivers that they have, there's kind of no excuse for that. But the timing of the offense just isn't there yet. He looks like a rookie. He looked like a rookie a lot. He took a 15-yard sack that took his team out of field goal range yesterday. Like, he does these type of things. But I believe in watching him. Go watch him do the special things, and you'll go, once he gets it and the light goes on and they all get on the same page, watch out. Like, he's going to be really great. but it's not there yet, which is why I thought this would lead to what we had yesterday, which was, we're not in a boat race with these guys. Like, they're a very good defense. They're very stingy in the red zone. That's not an accident what happened yesterday. They're top 5 red zone defense. London was on the air talking on and on and on about how he said, this is how Greg Williams used to play defense in the red zone. We were very successful doing it. Matt Eberflus is doing it really, really well. When space gets tight with their unit, it's very hard to score on them. And otherwise, this would have never come down to that, because the right team won yesterday. I mean, that's the weirdest part of this. Like, anybody who watched this knows Washington was by far not close, the way better team. They just didn't score enough points to put it away early. Like, in the third quarter, I was sitting there looking at the scoreboard going, this could be 24-0. And then we never would have gotten to this point. And if I told you the final score was 24-7 or 24-14, that seemed believable by the pace of the game yesterday.
No, it was the Giants game all over again, where it was like, God, if they just score 1 or 2 of these, it's over. Like, we're not even talking about the end of the game, essentially. And that's honestly why it brings me back to our first point of, like, the magic is magicking, because they should have won that game. Like, I think if you're the Bears fans today, you're thinking, God, we were going to steal one there. And then they stole it back, essentially, because they should have won that. They were the better team. Caleb wasn't that great yesterday either. He had less than 100 yards passing in the fourth quarter. And then that final drive, and he went over 100. But, like, they should have won that game way more handedly than having to have a Hail Mary to finish things off.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but we have to do, we have sponsored stat reads, in the games. Yeah. And after the third quarter, I think I said he was 3 of 11 for 30 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
And exactly. I looked at it, and I knew it was bad, but I'm like, wow. And then, he does these Mahomesy type things, but doesn't get them as right as often as Mahomes does at this point. He just doesn't. But I mean, that's what I saw on film with him the whole time. I kept watching this going, he looks like a rookie, a very different rookie, obviously, because he has he's very rangy, and he's got really great, incredible, like, kind of small space instincts to get out of issues. And he's got a great arm, but the timing's not there. So he makes these crazy moves, and you're like, oh, wow. And then the ball is 5 yards away from Keenan Allen. I mean, that's what you're seeing. When that flips, if it does, they're going to be very hard to beat. When it flips, it just hasn't yet. And I think I said this on Friday. I go, they're going to be really dangerous next year. Like, they need to get on the same page. They're not there yet. For our guy, it was just another sign of nothing rattles this guy. Nothing. Like, he was just cool, calm, collected. They get the ball back with 25 seconds. They have 1 timeout. They don't have good field position. The wherewithal to know they had enough time to throw that 12-yard out to McLaurin perfectly to get out of bounds and set up a chance is, like, example 1. Like, there's no freak out. There's no, guys, we need to keep calm. I can't lose it. Yeah, keep your composure, guy. None of that was there. And just go watch this. It's art. So he snaps the ball. He's not out of control for a second. Yes, it extended the play over and over, but it was totally within his control. He's Neo in the Matrix. He's running around. I'm sure the Bears are regretting they didn't rush more than 3. And that turned out to be a mistake too. Go watch him. Like, it's all cool, calm, under control, games on the line, whatever. We win. I know it's crazy, but I need to stay in the moment. He does. He flicks the ball perfectly. That couldn't have felt good. He had a rib injury. Remember that? No one told him he was going to chuck the ball 60 yards down the field. He did. It lands exactly where it's supposed to be. We have a very, very special player playing this position. I've been saying this from day one. He doesn't look like a rookie. He doesn't act like a rookie. He is humble. He is motivated. His work ethic is as good as anybody in this room. It's carried over. He prepares like nobody else. We found out this week he is a big-time competitor who doesn't want to take a week off, even if he's not 100%. If he can go, he wants to go. It had nothing to do with playing Caleb Williams. He just wanted to play. He goes out there. His speed isn't marginalized. He's running on early drives. He's juking out TJ Edwards to get first downs. he was a little more inaccurate than he's been, and I would attribute that to maybe that was the ribs showing up, that he was just a touch more inaccurate than he normally is. Or I love the one where he missed McLaurin and then went back to him on a 60-yard pass on the very next play and hit him on a dime. This guy, it's not close, the best season any rookie quarterback has ever had in the history of the NFL. And we are very fortunate to have him on this team. He is a special, special player.
The other play too, where he jumped over or like jumped to avoid the shoestring tackle. Yeah. I want to say it was the third quarter that happened. You should have heard Romo and Nance. Like they both were just like, oh, come on. Like they were losing their minds because they were just like, everything he does is special at this point. And yeah, that felt like 50 years ago after the Hail Mary happened. But every little thing this guy does, there's no way to describe it anymore. It's like he doesn't waste a single second every time the ball is snapped. Like there's no other way to describe it. There's no wasted time.
The other one too that really, and this is something I want to talk about, like, you know, outside of the afterglow of winning on a Hail Mary and how exciting it is, and they're 6-2, and largely I thought they played really well, especially on defense. I thought they played really, really well, and offensively they did too. The red zone is creeping up to become a problem now. It's happening over and over, so I want to talk to him about that. But the one that really got me too that I want to revisit with him, Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn, et cetera, this week is for the first time he was visibly upset with the substitution patterns. He was visibly upset with the timing of the calls coming in. It cost them a couple times. They had to burn timeouts. He was, for the first time, we kind of saw him emotionally looking at the sideline going, what's going on here? So I want to talk to him about that one. I mean, after all of this, we're all psyched and happy and all that stuff because, I mean, I am very happy, aren't you? I mean, isn't everybody very happy today? But that was one I want to revisit with them. They had to kill timeouts. They had procedural penalties again. And it was I actually saw him wear his emotions on his sleeve, which was another sign of he's a big time competitor. He's the one who's prepared. He wants you to be as prepared as he is. You saw that in real time yesterday.
No, it was definitely like I was thinking the same exact thing watching it in the third and fourth, especially after the second timeout. He's wanting to keep them just as accountable as they're keeping him accountable. Not that I think they have to do much with him, but I think he yesterday was like, let's guys get our what together because this isn't working. And the other, like, it was twofold too. It was not only with Kingsbury and the offense being called in, he was getting pissed at the refs with the substitutions on the Bears side too. Like, I don't know how much you saw with that, but he was getting pissed at them. Like, come on, they should be ready for this. I want to snap the ball. He was all over the place yesterday in terms of like, get on the same page.
It was the first, like, he acted like Brady a little bit yesterday, demanding the coaches get this in on time, demanding everybody be where they're supposed to be, questioning the referees when they're making what looks to be somewhat marginal calls. Washington's been hit with this illegal man downfield call a number of times this year. On one of them, it was the Zacchaeus touchdown that was called back. That play happened so fast. I don't know how he could possibly have been downfield. And I mean, it was close. Really, they're calling it really tight because the ball so fast. I'm sorry. Allegretti, whoever it was, isn't that fast. Like, I don't know. How are you saying he got where they said he got to? But whatever. And it was our first kind of signs of, I hope we get Brady calling his game because I really want to hear what he has to say about him because he exhibited some of that California cool, but very competitive. And now he's starting to go, everybody get on the same page with me, whether it's my team, referees, we're doing it right. Get on with us. And it was the first time I kind of saw his emotions kind of come out a little bit yesterday.
No, 100%. I also think maybe too, maybe some of that frustration too was like, guys, I didn't practice all week and I think we should be better than we are. There might've been a little bit of that happening too. I mean, maybe it was a little bit of that.
So you and I had very different days yesterday. You ran in the Marine Corps Marathon, which I'm going to ask you about in a minute. And I was happy I got to see you yesterday when you were running through Georgetown. But it was weird. Like, I'm sure that's a very taxing emotional thing that you went physically to, that you went through yesterday as you lead up to it. And I wanted to, like, I'm just going to point this out because, I just have to. But like, so I'm walking around Georgetown in the morning, which, by the way, beautiful. Like, there's nobody there. It's quiet. The streets are beautiful. I went down there because it was, a good location for me to catch you running, and there's nobody out. And so I got to walk down to M Street when you crossed the bridge and went over. And I was walking around, and, like, as you prepare for these games, like, you put so much time and effort to, like, trying to, kind of guess what's going to happen and, just be ready kind of for anything. I don't know, ready for the end yesterday, but like to be ready for just about anything. This was one of those where it just hit me like while I was walking around going, we're going to have, I don't know how it's going to end, but we're going to have one of these ones you're going to never forget. Like, I knew it. I didn't know that, but like, I just knew it, like to the point where I had this weird feeling come over me. And I'm like, I need to really lock in today because this is going to be a special game. I don't know how, and I don't know in what way, but it's just everything is set up for it. This first matchup between these two quarterbacks, he's playing hurt. This team and that team, in all likelihood, are going to be in a low-scoring game. We haven't seen our team in a game like that. It does feel like the beginning of potentially a renewed rivalry between these two sides, that this is going to be the first of probably many between these two teams. And I just it's hard to describe this, but to you, but like, I was so mentally prepared for one of these, and I can't describe why, but I just knew it, that yesterday was going to be special. And I just thought I would just share that with you today.
Did you walk too close to the Exorcist steps or something? I mean, like,
no, I mean, like it was a weird kind of like a vision. Like we're heading into this, this work takes so much of my brain, like between my family and this, it's really my life this time of year. It's all I really focus on are calling these games. And it just, I don't know. It was like everything came into one big bubble of get ready. You're about to call the game of your life. And I just knew it. There was something about this that was going to be special. It was really strange. It was a really odd, strange feeling. Like, you're walking into something and something fantastic's going to happen, but you just don't know what it is. And, and it turned out to be true. It was wild, really wild.
Return of the Oracle. So that's what happened.
The Oracle did return yesterday. So it's funny because like, I have a whole routine when I get ready to call these games of like, at this time I go over this roster and at this time I go over this and I make sure the pronunciations are right. And then I look at the weather and I check the referee and make sure I got the right referee. Like, it's just a whole litany of things I do to make sure that, we're on point. And I was just focused on the field and the boards differently. I didn't leave the booth. I didn't walk around the stadium very much, except when I had to do pregame hits. Like, I stayed there the whole time and just kept going. I just knew, I'm like, I better be ready for this. I don't know what it's going to be, but I better be ready for this. And boy, did it turn out to be something I'll never forget. Really, really never, ever forget. All right, one more thing. So this guy, Tyreek Stevenson, I didn't know about this till after the game, obviously, because I didn't see what he was doing, at the time. I wish I did, because I wish I would have said it during the call, but I didn't see what he was doing. And here he is. So let's see. Let's take a look. There he goes. And he's waving at the crowd. And then the play goes on. Then I love this. Now he just realizes there is a play that he has to be a part of. And this is karmic destiny, that he's the guy right here that tips it up in the air and it lands in Noah Brown's arms. If this guy wasn't a good player, and he is, he'd be cut today. Yeah,
he would not make it into the old facility. His key card would be denied today. No. Yeah. No. That was the fact too, that he's doing all that taunting and then it takes him 5 seconds to like, oh crap, I need to go run over there too. Like, yeah, the timing of that is crazy when you think about it. Like,
he had a 15-yard penalty earlier in the game. He was getting into it with McLaurin and others throughout the game. Like, I had a premonition. Apparently he did too. And he had the wrong one.
Right. Exactly.
What do you think they're saying about him in Chicago today?
Oh, I mean, I will give him this. He took the high road and apologized for it.
I saw that
already. And I think like everyone's going to have one extreme way or the other, I'm always like, okay, you own up to it and you're a good player. Fine. Like, you're right, though. If he wasn't a good player, he wouldn't even make it to the facility today. He would be cut. But
yeah,
I mean, I give him credit for taking the high road on that one.
well, he kind of had to.
I mean, you notice. You notice, though, some players won't do that.
What excuse would you have?
Some players won't do that. You know that.
True. It's true. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll talk about some of the other games from around the league yesterday next. Brad Watch the Show, ESPN 630, the Sports Capital.
So, you want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write 1 million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
All right, welcome back. Still in afterglow phase of, I didn't really sleep. Did you? If you're a marathon, do you sleep?
Oh yeah, I had good sleep last night. It was
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't sleep for a long time, but the
Not me.
6 hours.
Not me. Like that checked off a professional wish list that you never think you would ever really get, which is call a Hail Mary winner for your team. Like, I was trying to think about it. Can you remember another one?
Hail Mary
that Washington had. I can't.
No, it wasn't a Hail Mary, but Brunel had that one pass to Santana Moss in overtime. But that was still like a 10-yard slant that he just took to the house. Other than that, I can't think of one in that stadium that was a Hail Mary. Not for us.
I can't remember one either.
Yeah,
maybe Theismann threw one or something, but I can't remember. Maybe Sonny did. I can't remember one. Like I can't remember anything like that. I'd say, like, of moments in that stadium, the Kirk, you liked that game. I'm reminded of that. I covered the team when the Santana had that play there, and I'll never forget. Because I was on the side, I was a sideline reporter at the time. I had to chase him down on the field and do an interview on the field with him. And he was just huffing and puffing and screaming, speaking in tongues. Like, I don't even know. He was so, like, know what to say. Like, it was just so crazy. And the only other thing I can think of that's even remotely close, but it wasn't in that stadium, was the 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to Moss against Dallas that feels similar, but it's not a Hail Mary. Like, it just happened so fast. The switch of emotions were so crazy. But, like, I don't remember a Hail Mary in this team's history.
It wasn't a Hail Mary. There's one more. It was in, I think, 2007 when they were playing the Cowboys. Remember, Troy Vincent blocked the field goal, and then Sean Taylor picked it up and then got the face mask penalty. I think that's the swing of emotions on that one, I think, was equal to yesterday, because they were about to lose the game to Dallas. Then he runs it, he gets the face mask, and then Nick Novak kicks the game winner and wins it for him. That's the only one I can think of that the emotions were the same, but it's not a Hail Mary. It was just a chaos, couple of moments.
Let's see. Here's today's crazy stats that were brought out about this. From Next Gen Stats, Daniels held the ball for 12.7 seconds before releasing the Hail Mary, third longest time to throw any completion in their era of tracking it. Any pass, okay? Not just the Hail Mary, any pass. It traveled 65.9 yards in the air from release to catch. It's the third longest air distance on any completion in the Next Gen Stats era. Any pass, okay? 65 yards in the air, any pass. Longest air distance on a completed pass since 2016. It's PJ Walker to DJ Moore, of all people, from Carolina. Week 8, 2022 is 67.6. Baker to Donovan Peoples-Jones in 2021, 66.4. This was third, 65.9. Each of them resulted in the final 30 seconds of a half. Daniels Hail Mary was the first completion of the Next Gen Stats era. There was a pass of 50-plus air yards with a time to throw of at least 8 seconds. Every week. His Hail Mary was the second longest game-winning touchdown pass by a rookie as time expired in the fourth quarter in NFL history. Every week, this team rewrites history. It's wild. It's really wild. What else happened? Eagles roll Cincinnati. That was a bad outcome yesterday. I was kind of hoping for the, come on, Cincinnati. And now I'm off their train. Burrow's great, really, really good. They don't got a lot else. And unless he throws for 425 and 4 touchdowns, they're losing this year. So, and the Eagles are, I'll tip of the cap to them. It was very good. I saw, the second half, and they really rolled them in the second half.
Yeah, the first half of this one was ugly, and then they just pulled away. I've said this. The last 2 weeks for the Eagles have impressed me. Like, they rolled the Giants like they should have. They rolled Cincinnati. They're starting to be operational again and not lose their minds.
On Friday, I said, I bet you the Ravens would have preferred to play Deshaun Watson. They didn't. So the Browns, really? Baltimore, what's up? I mean, we've lived this. Division games are division games. They're hard. It's a breath of fresh air. The elephant was out of the room, and they played probably a lot more free. They're probably re-energized. It still doesn't excuse the Ravens from kind of needing to win that, but I'll hear them on for a week. The Browns probably were breathing a lot of fresh air for the week with Deshaun out of the way.
I think I saw a stat yesterday that whenever Deshaun he had like 300 plus yards and a couple touchdowns. That was the best outing since Deshaun had gotten traded there. Like this is so much worse than people realize with that contract.
What are they going to do? Like, how are they getting out of it? There's no way he's playing again for them. So the question is how they get out of that contract from here. Not if, how, which they may not be able to, and they may just have to eat it. But I think he just tore his Achilles. So would he if he's Aaron Rodgers, he'll say he's ready in 3 weeks. Everyone else, it's a year. And I don't come next year. Do you even want him competing to be the starting quarterback again? I don't.
Right. No,
so,
I would try to cut him at this point. Like, that's what I would just go with.
They might have to eat it and just do that.
Yep.
They might have to. Here's my favorite stat of the day. The Lions had 85 yards passing from Jared Goff, but scored 52 points anyway. They're quite a machine. They're going to the Super Bowl, guys. Like, I love what we're doing here, and I'm starting to have dream big because we're having the magic sauce going on. But those guys, they're toying with people, like absolutely toying with people.
I think the crazier stat is Jared Goff had 3 touchdowns in those 85-yard passes.
Yes.
Like, we need to. There's got to be some kind of stat with like least amount of yards thrown for touchdowns, because that's got to be up there in terms of the ratio. Like, that's ridiculous. And yeah, you're right. They're playing with their food at this point. It's unreal what they're doing.
Yeah, Ben Johnson's like, see, I ain't taking nobody's calls for interviews. See, you think I care, baby? I don't care, baby.
Maybe we were both right.
Boy, the AFC East is junk. So the Dolphins lose at home to Arizona on Tua's return at home. Okay, they lose them at home. And then who's soft now, guys? The Jets, I knew it. That's a train wreck game. I knew it. I went, let's see here. I bet this is close. Drake May got hurt, and they still lost. You think Rodgers is going to quit?
Ooh, quit? No, he'll keep playing because he's Rodgers. You're tilting your head there like you think he's gonna quit. But
would it shock you if he asked for a trade?
Now, yes. Yeah, absolutely. All of his friends are there? No, at least if he's gonna lose, it's Aaron Rodgers and friends. It's that show.
That's true. His whole thing was, you cut my friends, and that's why I'm sad. That was his Green Bay thing. Remember that for a while?
Right.
You cut my friends, and that made me sad. Yes.
Right, and they were winning. That was like they were winning, and they cut his friends. So
what is he going to say on McAfee tomorrow that's going to make any sense at all?
I have no idea.
What's he going to say?
My favorite panel was Matt Ryan on CBS last night. Matt Ryan just goes, "There's no more moves to be made," and they're like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "This is the team they're dealing with. Like, there's nothing they can do. Like, this is who they are."
Why would they have to make more moves?
Well, because Rodgers is going to want to. So Yeah, that was so. It was just. It was my favorite takeaway. He's like, "No, this is it. This is it."
I think they should fire the other coach now. Just do that.
You want your boy Natty Hacks for head coach.
Let him be the head coach. Let him be the GM. That's what he ought to do. Go tell Woody, I'm the GM and the coach now. I bet he would do it. Or I want to trade.
Never forget Natty Hacks needed a game manager coach to be hired like 2 weeks in. That's how bad of a head coach he was.
I smell Aaron Rodgers having an injury soon. That's what I smell. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
He's not going to continue playing throughout the rest of this year. You know that. Like, there's just 2-6. Oh, no. His brain doesn't understand that. He's not part of that. He's not the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll trade and bring Zach back. Who knows?
Oh.
Might be available. Trade deadline. Let's see. Falcones are streaking towards the NFC South title. The Saints are terrible. The Panthers are terrible. And they just swept Tampa Bay. So this is I guess that's going to happen. And everyone thought they might anyway when they got Kirk and for some reason drafted Penix. But everyone thought it anyway. And here they are. They caught Tampa at the right time, missing those guys. Ended up in a close game, but they've swept them now. So we'll see Atlanta at the end of the year, and they'll probably be playing for a division if they don't have it wrapped up by then.
The Falcons are having a season that you kind of draw up a little bit, right? They're in very close games. They're winning their divisional games, and they got caught by surprise by the Seahawks a couple weeks ago. But I think they're having one of those seasons where you chalk it up every single time. Close games, winning your division games. They're going to be there at the end now. I
mean, they get to 10, though, in the division. 9 might do it.
Yeah, right.
9 might do it. Let's see. Pack lose Love again, but they beat Trev. And I saw, I was watching Red Zone mainly in the 1 o'clock hour. So I caught a bunch of clips, and then it was on somewhere in one of the TVs in the background. So I caught a little bit of it. Jacksonville's offense is really, it doesn't look like they know what they're doing. It's kind of feels very haphazard to me. And then defensively, I look at their personnel, and I think they should be a little better than what they are. Packers are very good. Once Love went out, though, you kind of lose the excuse not to win, and this team finds ways to lose. So this one's streaking towards change, I think, coming at the end of the year.
No, they have to. I mean, you're bang on with the offense. That offense has players.
Yes.
Do I believe in Trevor? No, but they should still be way better than they are. And there's no way Dougie P is lasting beyond this year.
Texans win. Stephon Diggs got hurt, right?
Yeah, bad injury. I mean, he walked off on his own, but it looked like it was a knee, I think.
Okay, so we'll check that today. They get by Indy, and what I thought would be a relatively close game. I'm just not buying Anthony Richardson as a franchise quarterback. I think he's a tremendous, tremendous athlete with a tremendous arm and all this upside, but you got to be able to throw the ball consistently to be good in this league. You can't run your way out of everything. And, instinctually he makes some crazy plays a couple times a game, and Texans just have a better quarterback. So they win, but they're starting to get hit with the injuries too. So we'll see if that affects them. Still, not unlike with the Atlanta conversation, who in that division's catching them? Nobody. So they're going to chalk their way to an AFC South, I think. The other chalk wins were Denver beat Carolina. Chargers beat the Saints without Carr. They're lifeless without Carr. And the Kansas City game, which I thought would be a blowout because they made fun of Mahomes in the preseason, turned out to be pretty close, but Kansas City remains undefeated. Every game they play is close, but they win them. So they win them.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do this with the Chiefs as well. The Raiders are not good. That's a divisional game, though. The Raiders have played them tough in years past. So I'm not surprised that one was close. I will say this on Denver, by the way. Bo Nix is starting to look really good. I mean, for the guy that was what was he, the fourth quarterback off the board? Was he fourth or fifth quarterback off the board? And everyone kind of said Denver might have reached a little bit.
Sixth. He was sixth.
Sixth quarterback. Good on Peyton for probably being right. He's starting to fit in pretty well with that offense.
You saw Carolina, right, last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, he's still showing signs. It's going to take time.
Yeah. Okay. Just Just pointing that part out. That's all. Let's see. Ooh, the Bills. Bills go across the country, and Seattle's a weird team because they're good enough to beat anybody. And then sometimes they've had these this year. So they're a little too, I'll use the word inconsistent, to believe that they're going to really do anything. And now that go look at the Rams schedule off of that win, they're going to get hot. If they stay healthy, they're going to get hot. They're going to overtake Seattle. Seattle's going to fall down to like third in the division, especially if San Francisco is going to figure it out and figure out how to win. But the Bills, they're probably looking at their division going, oh man, really? Miami's a nothing burger. The Jets are a nothing burger. We know New England's a nothing burger. They thought they were in a meat grinder. As it turns out, not the case at all.
When we were picking divisions, I said, give me the Bills because they've been so consistent, and they don't even have to be consistent. They can start probably resting their dudes in December, and they'll be fine to win that division. If I'm them, I'm actually taking a look at, like, how do we lighten the load for these guys going into the playoffs, because they're going to be able to do it. On Seattle, great comparison here for me. They're West Coast Saints. You can't trust them. They take out an opponent here or there that makes everyone go, maybe they're legit. But you can't trust them. They're West Coast Saints.
They'll have a game where they score 45 points. And you're like, oh, look at that.
Right. But then they come back the next week and score 9. And Gino can't throw a screen anymore. Like,
that's right.
West Coast Saints.
And then this week, can't wait for Jerry's sports radio interviews. Dallas, that score was closer than what it was. They were getting stomped. I mean, like, especially in the second half. They gave up 21 third quarter points. They were getting stomped. Debo somehow played. Kittle somehow played. If they get McCaffrey back, get operational again. It was funny. I was watching it last night, and I just blurted out. I go, I don't know who I want to lose more here, actually, because if I want Washington in the playoffs, I trust that San Francisco will turn it around. I'd rather them take another ding right now. And then everyone looked at me, and they're like, you're rooting for the Cowboys. I just don't trust that. I think they're going to be up and down the whole year and probably be about a 500 team. So if they win this one, I actually think that could play to our advantage at a later date if San Francisco has to dig out of a hole. And, maybe they don't. I still want to hear how Jer explains this one this week.
I mean, I can't quit them either, of like, because they still have such good personnel. I'm always like, oh yeah, this game will be close. And now I'm getting to the point where I can't trust them either now. Like, they are so much worse than what their roster is. It's so bad for them.
Yeah, it is. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll be right back. Very much the show, ESPN 630, the Sports Capital. All right, welcome back. Give me real quick. Well, I saw the Wizards scores, so I've seen how their season started. Sounds great, but right on schedule, to go 7-75 or whatever they want to do this year, whatever they're going for.
7-75.
Is that unreasonable? Is it? I actually think they'd prefer that, really, honestly.
I mean, a tank is a tank. I'm fine with it. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just
and then let's see. Then they'll trade Kispert.
Right. Yes.
I don't know. Who are they keeping of this group? Bilal, I guess Sar. They like the point guard. And then when they get the Duke guy, then they'll be good to go. Is that the plan? That's the trust the process here?
I think because they warned us of how bad this season was going to be, everyone's on the table now. Like, I think this could be the one where Kispert, Kuz, Poole, they all go. I think they could all go.
The funny part is you still got to win the lottery.
Yes, right.
Or you don't get that guy.
Right, exactly.
So, I don't know. We'll see. How'd the Caps do this weekend? I was a little out of touch. They lost to Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, lost to Tampa Bay, got shut out by Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky's obviously really good. They were due for one of these types of games. They had some chances. Lindgren was okay, but this was just one of those nights where Tampa Bay was better. It was in Tampa. I don't really have much more to say off of that. It was just one of those games where Vasilevsky was stopping everything. Still pretty good effort by them. It wasn't like they played poorly. Tampa Bay was just the better team. So see if they can bounce back. They get the Rangers tomorrow at Cap One.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. All right. Give me 2 minutes on Marathon Man. Before the show, if you're watching this on YouTube, Callow is like seated. What you didn't see was him struggle to move more than 4 inches. So, well, I mean, but you just ran a marathon, so I would imagine you don't feel great today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really sore, obviously. Moving is slow today. I almost debated doing the show from bed, which would have been good for the YouTube version of the show. But no.
So did I after the Hail Mary and didn't sleep. But go on.
yeah, do the show from bed for both of us. No, it was a great day. One, I just want to say this. My most stressful thing going into yesterday was the weather, because when it's warm, I'm not great. Like I fall apart pretty quick. It was 40 in the morning. The high was 60. Felt really good all day. So you were the first one I saw in Georgetown. Saw you around mile 5, and so your instructions were perfect, by the way. Knew exactly where to look for you. So good on you for that. Saw you. Went the next about.
Yeah, I got a video of you. I posted it. I got a video of you.
My parents, you actually helped.
Your dad was pumped. Yeah, your dad was pumped. Yeah.
My parents were actually pumped about that too, because you posted that and they hadn't seen like what I was wearing or anything. So they you gave them the scouting report for a couple hours later. Then got probably, I don't know, about 5-10 miles later, I saw my run club a couple of times because they were on a turnaround point. Then saw my parents, then saw John Walton. And that was all within a like 16 to 18 mile stretch. So in 2 miles, I was like feeling really, really good. And then you hit the bridge back to Virginia, and mile 20 is a gauntlet. Like you are pretty much falling apart with everyone else around you. So the last 6 miles in any marathon is going to suck, and it did suck. But all in all, it was a really great day. I was really happy to see everyone, including you. Like I said on Twitter, you on a game day was I appreciated that. So maybe I gave you some good karma or something heading into to Landover. But no, it was great. And as you know, I've kind of worked my ass off for the last year trying to get in shape for this thing, and so I was pretty pleased with myself.
I wasn't there, Joe. I wasn't there, Joe. Did you know that Callow ran a marathon, Joe? I wasn't there.
Yeah, it's like all the TV guys couldn't make it, I guess.
Couldn't make it. Where was Joe?
Yeah, no idea.
Joe was busy getting his suit tailored. He didn't even know about it. He was thinking about you, though. He was thinking about you. Sure. All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
You could do it again or no?
Yeah, I got another one.
Oh, you are?
For sure. Yeah. I from my first marathon 9 years ago, I was about 10 minutes faster. And I think I could get into even better shape. So I'm
you
definitely.
Want to do the next one like here again, or you want to go somewhere else and do it?
Haven't decided. I did enter the Chicago Marathon lottery, but that's like pretty hard to get into. So if I get into that, that'll probably be the next one. But no, this one I had the complete opposite feeling of my first marathon. My first marathon traumatized me because it was pouring down rain and there weren't a lot of people. This was the opposite. It was perfect weather and a lot of people. So yeah, I definitely will do it again.
All right, very good. Talk to you tomorrow. Brad watch the show. ESPN 630 Sports Capital.